The problem with most nutrition advice is that it talks about what you should be eating. And that puts that advice and our focus squarely in the health realm, getting us to think only about eating because it serves some health purpose. One of the best parts about food is the joy that it can bring, the flavor, the experience, and in particular, I think the community of sharing food. So rather than thinking just about what you should be eating, I think we should be spending more time talking about how we can enjoy cooking and sharing food. Hi, I'm Kiyah Duffey, nutrition expert, entrepreneur, speaker, and mom of 3. I help busy, health-conscious parents transform their family's relationship with food. I was listening to a podcast this weekend where someone was talking about these 3 strategies that she uses with clients that she coaches to help them kind of get a handle on their nutrition goals. One of them was to make sure that they were focusing on their macros, thinking about the balance of protein, healthy fats, carbohydrates, and fruits and vegetables. And the second thing that she mentioned in this was making sure that you're eating consistently throughout the day. And the third thing that she mentioned was making sure that you had a plan. Those 3 were key elements of helping her clients, hit, identify, and maintain their nutrition goals. And as I was listening to this, it dawned on me. There are 2 problems I see with either of these strategies. The first one, focusing on the nutrient value, the nutritional value, the nutritional composition, the mix of macronutrients in a meal. When we talk about those factors of food, we are talking about the relationship between elements of that food and health and why it's healthy for us. And we are trying to convince you that you should eat A, B, and C or avoid D, E, and F because they have nutritional and health implications. We are giving you the health message. We are giving you the health reason. And there actually is research that reasoning, that motivation doesn't always work. And in fact, can backfire, especially when we are talking about giving that message to kids. Telling our kids, you need to eat that spinach because it's good for you, or you need to eat your carrots because they help your eyes. Those messages don't necessarily help our kids want to eat those foods, get better at eating those foods, enjoy eating those foods, or frankly, even really want to listen to us. The second message, all you need to do is have a plan, also doesn't serve anyone who works, anyone who has a spouse that works, anyone who has kids very well, because inevitably those plans get thrown out the window. Something happens, and even our best laid plans end up being plans that we cannot keep. The things that rarely gets talked about when we are talking about helping people who want to change their relationship with food, to have healthier eating habits, we give them strategies like this. Make sure you're paying attention to your macros. Make sure that you're planning ahead and that you know what you are going to do at the end of the day. And so the piece that is missing from all of this is find something that you can learn to cook. And ideally, finding something you can learn to cook and enjoy cooking it. I think something that we don't talk enough about is the importance of figuring out how you can enjoy the process of cooking. Maybe it's a recipe that you can turn to quickly and easily. It is a recipe that involves ingredients that you always have on hand, or that you make sure you always have on hand, or it's a recipe that can easily be adapted to whatever you have in your refrigerator or your pantry. Or maybe it's a technique that you can turn to. It's stir frying, it's roasting, it is steaming. It's something that you can do reliably to get a meal ready when everything else falls apart. Even me, when I try and I plan ahead and I look at our schedule for the day and I think about everything that is happening at work and everything that needs to get done at the end of the day to get kids to their various activities and the things that my husband and I both have to do, inevitably, there is a day every week, if only one, where my plan cannot be executed and I have to fall back on something else. And if I don't have a plan B, and if I didn't have something that I could go to quickly and easily and have those ingredients in the pantry stocked, ready to go, know what those options could be, and be able to execute on that very quickly, I would inevitably be relying on things that, for me at least, are things I wouldn't want to do. For example, eating out far more often than we do right now. And the thing for me about cooking is that I started to practice cooking when I was in graduate school. And even though I was studying nutrition, when I pored over cookbooks or looked through recipes, two things happened. One, I wasn't thinking about the nutritional composition of those. I wasn't trying to balance protein and fiber, and I wasn't thinking about vitamins and minerals in every meal and trying to create a balanced meal. I was interested in what the foods were and how they were going to taste. Often I would try it again with slightly different tweaks to see how it changed. And a lot of things that I made then, I don't make anymore. And a lot of the recipes and the meals that we turn to now inevitably are much simpler because I just don't have the time that I did in graduate school before having kids to really experiment with cooking. But that is when I really started practicing that, and I started learning some key techniques and some skills that are transferable and can be used over and over again. And the other thing that I did during this time is that I did it with a friend. Walked to the market and we talked to farmers about what they had, and we asked them how they prepared things, and we found ingredients and we tested recipes and we shared recipes, and we brought this food and shared it with friends. And it was a communal experience that we had, and it wasn't just about cooking something, it was about sharing that experience with each other and then with our friends. You don't have to become the next Julia Child or Ina Garten or Guy Fieri. You don't. It's really just about finding something that you can reliably make and, if possible, have fun doing. So how can you actually do this in practice? Think about a food that you really enjoy eating and see if you can find a basic recipe and practice making it. Watch a cooking show. Our family has been watching the Great British Baking Show together for years, and they make cooking look so fun that as we are watching this show, we find things we'd like to try baking because of it. So watch people who are having fun making something. Find a cookbook. Find a cookbook that has beautiful pictures, especially. I find that really key in choosing recipes. Find a cookbook that has recipes that you like, a chef that you have heard of or a friend has recommended, and buy that cookbook and have it and try making one thing out of it. Try making that one thing a couple of times. You could subscribe to something like Epicurious, something that new recipes are constantly being put onto the app, the blog, the website, and can give you new ideas to try testing. Find a friend who has always wanted to try to learn to make something and practice that with them. Ask your kids what they might like to practice or learn to make. I have a 15-year-old who in no time at all will be going off to college, and I want her to leave with a few basic skills for cooking. And so I'm asking her, what is it that she would like to be able to make for herself, and how can we work on that together? What is the one thing that you love to cook? What is the one thing you've always wanted to learn to cook and haven't yet? I challenge you to find a recipe that you can practice this week and see how it feels to get better at preparing that.